From the Spanish colonial era hacienda system to today's debates on land ownership, agrarian reform has been a cornerstone of the Philippine struggle for equity. For decades, our farmers have fought not just for soil to till, but for the right to thrive. Today, we'll trace how the history of this reform shapes the modern challenges our agriculture sector faces, from food security to rural poverty here in Cabanatuan City and across the nation. The roots of our agrarian crisis stretch back centuries. Under Spanish rule, bands lands were awarded to friars and elites, leaving farmers as tenants and sharecroppers. When the Americans took over, they introduced laws like the Philippine Bill of 1902, which promised land ownership but largely benefited American corporation and local elites.
Sa gitna ng kabukiran kung saan umaasa ang bawat isa sa ani at biyaya ng lupa, naroon ang mga magsasaka, ang tahimik na bayani ng ating hapagkainan. Ngunit isang tahimik na laban ang hinaharap ng mga magsasaka. Hindi laban sa tao, kundi laban sa isang kalabang hindi nakikita, hindi kontrolado, ang nagbabagong klima.
Post-independence, the Hukbalahap Rebellion in 1940s to 1950s highlighted how unequal land distribution fueled social unrest. This led to the first major reform under President Ramon Magsaysay, who distributed small plots to farmers. However, implementation limited and the large haciendas remain intact, setting the stage for the future struggles.
At saka ito laging tatandaan nyo ha, huwag mamaliitin ng farmers. Dahil hindi nyo matitikman ang masarap na gulay kung walang farmers.
Paano sila lumalaban? May pag-asa pa bang muling umusbong ang ani sa gitna ng unos?
In 1972, President Marcos issued Presidential Decree 27 mandating to transfer of rice and corn lands to tenant farmers. While a milestone, it included other crops and left loopholes that allowed landowners to retain control.
Matapos ang gyera, pinangunahan ng PC or Philippine Constabulary kasama ang tulong ng mga Amerikanong miyembro ng USAFE or United States Army in the Far East ang pagdisarma at magdakip sa ilang miyembro ng Hukbalahap na nagkasala sa batas. Ilan sa mga ito ay nakusahan ng pagtataksil at panggugulo. Dinakip rin ang dalawang leader ng Hukbalahap na sina Luis Tarok at Casto Alejandrino. Pero agad naman itong pinakawalan ng nooy Presidente Sergio Osmeña.
After the People Power Revolution, President Corazon Aquino signed Republic Act 6657, the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program or CARF. In 1988, it aimed to cover all agricultural land to provide support services like credit and training, but challenges emerged: low land acquisition, low farmers' capacity to manage land, and disputes over land valuation. Even today, many CARF's beneficiaries lack full ownership, title, or access to resources.
I am proclaiming today land reform throughout the entire Philippines. We must allow the tenant to now acquire ownership ultimately of his land, but he must engage in cooperative effort. We cannot just keep on subdividing land. We must cooperate. We must now establish cooperatives of production, cooperatives in irrigation, cooperatives in rural electricity, cooperatives in consumption, cooperatives in everything that we do, because we are a small nation and most of our people are small people.
I intend to issue an executive order to impose a one-year moratorium on the payment of land amortization and interest payments. Congress must also pass
Modern issue and historical links. Modern farmlands, farmers at market stalls, new clips on food inflation and land conversion. So, how does this history connect to today? Let's look at three key issues. First, food security. Despite being an agricultural country, the Philippines import rice and other crops. Many small-scale farmers who make up 70% of our rural population still lack access to modern technology or fair markets. This traces back to historical gaps in support services under past reform programs. Ito ay Historically, kahit agrarian country tayo, hindi naging sapat ang mga suporta sa mga magsasaka. Noon pa man, kulang ang access nila sa irrigation, credit, and modern tools. Kaya hanggang ngayon, kahit may lupa at farmers, hindi pa rin self-sufficient ang Pilipinas sa bigas at iba pang crops. Parang cycle lang, kulang sa suporta, mababang productivity, kailangan mag-import. Second, land conversion. Rapid urbanization and industrialization have turned agricultural land into subdivision and factory. Weak enforcement of land use law echoes colonial and post-colonial eras where profit prioritized over food production. Simula pa noong colonial period, priority lagi ang profit kaysa sa food production. Ngayon, makikita mo ito sa urbanization, palaya nagiging subdivision or malls. Weak ang enforcement ng land use laws, kaya tuloy-tuloy ang conversion. Ang resulta, nababawasan ng agricultural land at mas mahirap mag-produce ng pagkain locally. Third, rural poverty. Over 30% of rural Filipino live below the poverty line. Unequal land distribution, a problem we've been trying to fix for over a century, remains a root cause. Even with CARP, many farmers are still in debt of or work as laborers on lands they were supposed to own. Sa rural poverty, ang unequal land distribution ay matagal ng problema. Kahit may CARP pa or Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program, maraming farmers hindi pa rin tunay na nakikinabang, either indebted sila or laborers pa rin sa lupang dapat kanila. Ang cost nito ay hindi pantay ang ownership ng lupa. Mahirap makaahon sa rural families. Mataas ang poverty rate. In essence, ang issue ngayon, food insecurity, land conversion, and rural poverty ay hindi isolated. They are deeply connected sa historical patterns ng neglect, inequality at profit first mindset. Kaya kahit may reforms, kung hindi sapat ang implementation, paulit-ulit lang ang problema.
Here in Luzon, we're seeing both struggle and progress. Farmer cooperatives, like the one Shailene and Lian works with, are pooling resources to access better seeds and sell direct to markets.
Yung binhi ko, hindi maganda. Saka isa pa yung init. Ito po, kabon na ito, ang inaani ko, 74 kaban. Pero ngayon, 25 kaban. Kaya luging-lugi ako. Ganon din yung sa kabila, yung bukit ko dyan. Inaani ko doon 24. Ngayon, naging 12. Kaya doon ako nagkalugi po.
The story of Philippine agrarian reform is far from over. It's written every day in our fields, our community, and our fight for more than just a nation.